Adrienne von Speyr was a Swiss Catholic physician, writer and theologian. She was the author of over 60 books of spirituality and theology, and a mystic and stigmatist. Adrienne von Speyr was born in Chaux-de-Fonds, Switzerland. Her father, Theodor von Speyr, was an ophthalmologist. Her mother, Laure Girard, was the descendant of a family of noted watchmakers and jewelers from Geneva and Neuenburg. Speyr was her parents' second child. Her sister, Helen, was a year and a half older. Her first brother, Wilhelm, who became a physician, was born in 1905 and died in 1978. Her second brother, Theodor, was born in 1913 and became the director of a bank in London for many years. Speyr's mother scolded her daily, and this led her to form a strong trust and devotion to God, as well as a recognition of the meaning of sacrifice and renunciation. She formed a deep relationship with her grandmother, a holy and pious woman. She also had a devotion to her father, who treated her with mutual respect and understanding, often taking her with him to the hospital to visit sick children. In her primary school years she began working with the poor, and even formed a society with her friends for those living in poverty. A very bright student, Speyr occasionally substituted for one of her teachers who suffered from asthma. It was in her religion classes that she began to sense the emptiness of the Protestantism that was being offered to her. At the age of 9 she gave a talk to her classmates about the Jesuits, believing that an angel had told her that the Jesuits were people who loved Jesus totally, and that the truth of God was greater than that of men, and as a result one could not always tell people everything exactly as one understands it in God. She later told Father von Balthasar that when she was 6 years old she had a mysterious encounter with Saint Ignatius while walking up a steep street on Christmas Eve. In her secondary school years, Speyr reproached her religious teacher for failing to discuss other religious beliefs, especially Catholic teachings. Speyr was often sick and had constant backaches that forced her to lie down for long periods of time. She would always become ill before Easter, and explain that it was due to Good Friday. Despite her physical sufferings, she focused on helping others who were suffering, spending time comforting and encouraging hospital patients. Not surprisingly, at her secondary school she formed the intention of becoming a doctor, a decision supported by her father, but not her mother. And after 2 years at the school, her mother was successful in having her removed from the school on the ground that it allowed her too much association with boys, and she then spent a year in an advanced girls' school. Although unhappy there, she also met her best friend, Madeleine Gallet. The two of them talked constantly about God, the spiritual life, and how they might convert their classmates. Speyr's father permitted her to return to her former secondary school, where she was the only girl in her class, and was very popular, due to her charm, sense of humor, and natural leadership. In November 1917 she experienced a mystical vision of the Blessed Virgin Mary surrounded by angels and saints. Her later work would always be marked by a deeply Marian character. Around this same time, Speyr knew, she said, that her father would soon die. After his death, she attended both business school and secondary school. In 1918 she suffered a total physical collapse brought on by tuberculosis in both lungs, and the doctors believed she would die within a year. She was sent to Leyden, where she was cared for by Charlotte Olivier, a doctor who was married to one of her relations. Meanwhile, her mother distanced herself even further from her. Speyr spent time learning and reading Russian. It was in Lycina, where she would often pray in a cold Catholic chapel, that she began to believe that she was being called to the Roman Catholic Church. After another physical collapse, she was able to return to school,